Hello folks, this is my 20-year review of the Opinel No.8. Before I go any further, I'll tell you why I came to purchase this knife in the first place. I was in the military at the time and I was looking for a folding knife I could carry in my BDUs, and one that knew if I lost it I wouldn't be crying myself to sleep over. So I wanted something cheap but functional. And well, I was in a gun shop I frequented one day and I saw a box of these sitting on the counter. So I took one out and examined it and thought, whoa, this is a really sharp little knife. And I liked the design and I liked the price. I think I paid a grand total of £6 sterling for the knife back then. So I bought it, took it with me, it stayed in my BDUs during my service, and when I left the service then it went into my coat pocket and has pretty much stayed there ever since. It's just, I'll talk a bit about the spec now. It has a 3 1/4 inch blade. The handle is around 4.3 inches and overall around 7.5 inches in length. It has a ring lock. This is the locking system. Just releases there, close the knife over, and you see it's a good compact design little knife. See, there are no sharp edges really sticking out anywhere. It's nice and smooth. Nice little rounded handle, wasted toward the end. This locking mechanism, just pull back a little. This is called, well, it's a ring lock, but it's called a viral block safety ring, and was implemented by the company in 1955. And it works very simply. It's just open here, you see it's tapered each side. When you move it around it just wedges itself into place really. And once it's locked, I mean there's no way that knife is gonna close. It's wedged there. But it's excellent little design. The handle is made of beech on this one. According to the number of the knife, you get different handle materials. They do walnut, they do olive wood, there's even an ebony on a higher end version. Different numbers. This is the number 8. And the blade steel, well, it's a carbon steel. Yeah, it's a carbon steel, and I believe they call it X90. Now, well, good points. This knife, I really like the blade shape on this little knife. It's a very classic, simple blade shape, slight clip point here, with just a nice shallow blade, fairly straight edge just up to the tip here, and there's a nice gentle curve. It's a very, as I said, a classic blade shape. This one has lost a little bit of sharpness off the point, is just worn away over the years, but it's still plenty sharp. The carbon steel has developed a nice patina over the years. You can see that on both sides. But, you know, it takes an excellent edge, this knife. I sharpened it about a month ago, no problem shaving hairs off my arm. It's not a hard steel, so the edge will blunt fairly quickly if you're giving it hard use, but it's very easy to resharpen. It's one of my favourite knives to sharpen for that reason. You can just get it very sharp again very quickly. It's a very comfortable little knife in hand, The handle, it's a small handle for a small knife, but it's got a nice palm swell here, a little waist, just where your little finger would go, and it's comfortable in the hand. When I'm using it, I typically keep a finger or my thumb on the ring lock here, just to make sure it doesn't close. But it's a nice little knife to use, very comfortable in hand and very lightweight. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the weight. It weighs something like 1.6 ounces, so it's a very lightweight little knife. And for that reason, very suitable for putting in a pocket. It won't be too hard on your lining. Yeah, as I say, other good points, excellent steel, excellent blade shape, very comfortable in hand, very cheap. I think $15 in the United States, £9 sterling here in the UK. It's a very good buy. A very good buy, this little knife. Bad points? Well, the blade does tarnish. Excuse me. The blade will tarnish, as you can see, like every other carbon steel. It will stain and, it can rust if it's left damp. Now this knife, I have to say, has had absolutely minimal care from me over the last 20 years. Minimal care. I keep it in my coat pocket. I take it out when I need to cut something. If it gets wet, I wipe the blade of my sleeve, fold it, put it back in my pocket. I'm not oiling it. I'm not drying it out every time. But it has developed this patina over the years, and I have to say I actually like this look. It's tarnished over the last 20 years, but and so have I. So yeah, I actually like this look. It gives it a very workmanlike appearance as far as I'm concerned. It's character. It looks full of character. And other bad points, well, the handle, the wood will absorb moisture. I've had it getting wet with me, and when it does absorb moisture, the knife becomes harder to close and open. It gets a bit stiff. But a night indoors in the heat corrects that problem, and it's not a serious issue. The locking mechanism can open. It can move around, and then I've had it happen a very few times over the last 20 years where it has started to close on me when I've been using it, but that's generally because I have been holding it down here to get more length when I've been cutting vegetation out of my way, and the swivel can jiggle loose and move around. But by and large, when I am cutting something serious with it, I keep my hand up on the lock so I can feel it if it moves, and just make sure it doesn't go any further, it doesn't open fully. I typically twist it around this way, put my thumb on it, and it's safe enough. You just have to be vigilant about it, pay attention. Well, I say dirt, dust, and all the crud can get in around the ring lock, make it gritty, but it's very easy to clean out. You just move the lock around, hold the knife up, wiggle it back and forward, and you just see the debris drops out, and it's clean again. No problem. I never put oil in here. Oil would just help keep the stuff in there, so I keep it dry. Yeah, as I say, the corrosion could be a negative. For me, I don't mind it. I like this look. I think it gives character. And that's one of the things I really like about this knife. Just a little bit more. It's just a beautifully simple, functional knife. That's one of the major appeals of this knife to me. There's no bells and whistles with it. There's no gimmicks. It's just a beautifully simple, functional knife. I just love the simplicity of the blade, the handle, even the locking mechanism. Just everything is so simple and workmanlike and functional. Yeah, it really appeals to me. And it is a classic. It's a classic design. There's no question about that. And well, would I recommend this knife? I think you can probably guess the answer to that by now, but oh yes, I definitely would. Oh yes, the other thing about the blade shape is it's a nice fine blade. You can see how fine that is. It's a full flat grind, both sides. And it's an excellent slicing knife. Really is an excellent slicer. Very, very good. You see, when you close the knife up, it's nice and slimline. Nice classic design. You just use the thumbnail opening with the Opinel France. It's an excellent little knife. So yeah, would I recommend it? Absolutely. Beautiful design, really good functional little knife. They're so cheap, there's no reason not to buy one. As I say, I've given this knife minimal care over the last 20 years. I sharpen it when it needs it. Other than that, it stays in my coat pocket. I've cut all manner of things with it over the years. It's never let me down. And yeah, I think everyone should have an Opinel in their collection. It's just a simple, classic, beautiful French design. And just a really, really functional little knife. So, yeah, $15 US, about £9 in Britain. It's a real bargain. So if you haven't got one, get yourself one. You won't regret it. It's not a heavy duty knife. Use some common sense with knives. But for everyday cutting tasks, as a backup knife, it's just a really classy little knife. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon. So bye for now.